I don't know. I'm thinking that you guys watched the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
All right. Because I don't necessarily have anything really bad to say about it.
I
Because
thought it was a solid show.
yeah, because I normally look forward to like the Rumble every year, like everybody else does, for pretty much the same reason why everybody, you know. I mean, and the sad part was like two people that I had predicted to be like entrants, like my surprise picks for a Rumble, weren't even in it. And I was like, well, because I like to play to do that mock draft, the mock picks too and all that shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, well, hang on, come on, Kate. And I'm thinking like, oh shit, the Rumble, we gotta get Becky right, you know, maybe 27, 28, whatever. Or I was thinking maybe Asuka 27, 28. Then maybe Becky like 30 kind of thing. I'm like, dude, half of these girls, I didn't even know them. Were the indie girls?
I don't. Other than a few, to be honest with you, other than a few of them, I don't watch. I don't want to say I don't watch women's wrestling. I don't focus on it. I guess so. A lot of
Okay, that's
times
what
they
I am.
kind of, yeah, they kind of like the names. First of all, they all have like these outlandish names that don't exist in reality. You know, and like all their names are like names of like soap opera characters.
Well, maybe
And
not
then
your reality, but the places that I frequent. Everybody, let's hear for the next three songs, Indie Hardwell.
well, and that's why I think when there is when there is a female wrestler that I like, I really they stick out to me. Like obviously Rhea Ripley did when she first came along, and I like that Lyra Valkyria.
I mean,
I like
LA
her.
Knight.
Uh, yeah, and but but yeah, there's a lot of them are so interchangeable. I like Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's good.
Chelsea Green's probably their best one they got. I mean,
Well, she's definitely the best of the newest girls.
like she's got the gimmick down and the character. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the shit heel character down, and she looks good. Like that doesn't hurt. But yeah, I mean,
But even
she was
even
she was a standout when she was in TNA or whatever, and was doing that Hot Mess Express thing or whatever. Like she
Hot
was,
Mess Express.
yeah.
Was Joey Janela in that? That sounds like something off of GC. It has to have been. At least tell me ODB was in it. That's all her.
No,
But
that chick's funny, and it's like her, Io Sky,
okay,
Oscar when she's around. Those are like and that Ivy Nile. Those are like the chicks that I think are like the best ones that aren't Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. You know what I mean?
okay. Yeah, I can't
Is
believe
it?
I didn't see not one person. Nobody must have noticed it but me. That when LA Knight came out, it said Tyra Valkyrie on the like not on the screen, but on the LEDs,
mhm.
like around. And I was like, it's the men's rumble for one. I can understand if it was the girls' rumble and it was a mistake because it wasn't on very long. It was only on for a second where somebody realized, wait a minute, this ain't Tyra
there's a
Valkyrie.
that reminds me. There's a Clash of Champions where Eric Watts wrestles. Okay, Eric Watts, and when he comes out the Chiron, they accidentally put up Steven Regal, and I'm like, could that be any opposite? Like Eric Watts, Steven Regal. Like there's an awful mistake. But more than the women Royal Rumble and not knowing who some of them were, I told my wife I realized after while watching the Rumble last night that I have officially checked out of pop culture because I had absolutely no idea who any of the fucking none of the
Okay,
celebrities that they introduced were. I had no I'm like world famous streamer. Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
I had, and the dude that was like the celebrity entrant in the Royal Rumble, never heard of him in my entire life. I have no idea who that speed, whatever that speed
I
guy was.
texted
It
you
took
that
me a
guy.
minute. It took me a minute to figure out who that guy was. First off, did you guys see that crowd angle that I sent you of that guy getting speared?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe I
like
probably.
it looked even more devastating. It looked
Oh,
even
him. The
it
eye
looked
no
even
speed guy. That guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw
There's a
that.
couple there's a couple fan shots like where it's even better than seeing it on TV because you're seeing it at a high angle and the guy just gets fucking destroyed. And then there was backstage footage of him getting brought to the back and you could tell he wasn't selling because he wouldn't know how to do it this well. That he was just bewildered. Like he had no fucking idea. Like Braun Breaker broke that human being. But it took me a minute to figure out who he was. He was the guy that took the bump when wearing the Prime bottle at WrestleMania, that Logan Paul's last WrestleMania or whatever.
Oh, good night. You're asking me to remember
Like he's
way
Logan
too
Paul's. He's like Logan Paul's Brutus Beefcake.
much.
Because
Oh,
he's this fucking
okay.
Logan
this
Paul's
toady.
Toadie. All right.
Yeah, he's the
Well, I
guy that
was
holds
all
his
getting
bag so he doesn't get busted.
I was all getting ready to go out, and then all of a sudden they sent out Tozawa. I had my outfit on. I made sure they had my music and everything, and next thing I know, here comes Tozawa, and I'm like, wait a minute, never mind, he didn't even make it to the ring.
You were replaced by Tozawa, who was replaced by Logan Paul's Toadie.
Yep, there you go. Maybe next year, guys.
And then with the men's rumble, I didn't mind Jey Uso winning just because, I mean, everything doesn't have to be telegraphed, right? You can have a surprise once in a while.
Like I was happy when CM Punk got eliminated. I was like, yes, thank you. Like I didn't want CM Punk to win, not because I don't like CM Punk, but just because I didn't want it to be predictable.
Oh,
You know?
I didn't even have CM Punk. Like he may have been in my top 5, but I mean, I was just hoping they weren't going to let John Cena win. That's the
See,
only thing I was.
that's who I thought was gonna win was John Cena.
I liked how they were fucking with like trying to break the internet. They're like, oh, let's have Logan Paul eliminate CM Punk. That'll get people. And then Alexa Bliss shows up, and they're like, oh, I thought she wasn't gonna come back.
See, I had no idea about any of this. Like, what was her? What she had? What she like? Not under contract? Is she gone or is she back? I mean,
She
what
was
was that all
out
about?
on baby leave. She was out on maternity leave or whatever, and there were like all the dirt sheets were saying like she wasn't coming back because she
Oh,
couldn't work out their contract or whatever. And then it's like now she's back, and they were just like,
so
oh
at
yeah,
the end of the day, it
you guys
wasn't
really
that
knew
big
what
of
you
a
were
deal.
talking about. It's
So
like
it
we're
wasn't
out.
that big of a deal then. All right, I got you.
No,
I thought it was.
they
I
were
thought it
just
was something bigger than that.
no, they just thought because she hadn't been back yet that they were like, oh, she's not gonna come back. So that's why they were
Oh,
like, oh yeah, fuck off.
and
Like
I
it's like
agree
no
with
other thing.
I agree with you, Chad, about Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch has to be back under some kind of a contract because they used her in the advertising for Netflix and all that. Like, if she's not back with the company, why would she be in advertising? Why would she? I keep expecting her to come back, and she hasn't come back yet. I'm assuming she'll be back before Mania, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just
oh
seems so
yeah.
weird that they used her in the advertising for Raw coming to Netflix, and we still haven't seen her yet. I just think
Well,
that.
you wait till Mania comes around. You're gonna be amazed at how many people are not injured anymore. Because that's the best paycheck of the year. Everybody and their mother is going to be like waiting at that mailbox on Tuesday morning. Oh, it's Mania. My hamstring is fine. Yeah, Logan Paul, the slow me down guy. They're all going to be out there. I had no idea who that was because I wasn't even. I was listening to something else when like wasn't it Hunter that went backstage and told him to go out there or something?
Yeah. He was in the gorilla position, and Hunter said, "Whatever your name is, slow mo, go slow mo, go slow mo, go slow mo."
Homo.
So he definitely wasn't. He wasn't supposed to be in the ring then. Okay,
No, that was the setup was that he was just, I don't know, just hanging out at gorilla position or whatever.
like everybody else does. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
everybody gets a shot at gorilla position.
Especially
Maybe
the
that's why
non
I missed my
wrestlers.
cue.
Especially the non-wrestling personnel, they get to hang out in the gorilla position and just chat. No, like talking about dirt sheet people and everything. Now people are trying to say like Drew McIntyre was really upset when he left, like he stormed out or whatever.
They
This
they
is what
they
they. This is what they. Listen, what Dave Meltzer wrote. Listen how just horribly written this is. This is Dave.
All right,
There's
Bix.
reportedly there's reportedly one person in the men's Royal Rumble match that a lot of talent are pissed at for trying to get himself over, which is what led to Drew McIntyre being angry backstage. There's a lot of people. There's a guy that a lot of people are pissed at in the match with the idea that he was trying to get himself over and not the match over. He was doing things. I don't want to mention his name. It'll probably come out tomorrow because it's only one person telling me the name, but multiple people telling me that the Drew thing, that he wasn't happy. It's not an angle, but if they end up doing an angle with the person later, which there's no hint of anything. But I heard Drew was not the only guy unhappy about the situation. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
what
It's not
Mel
an angle, but if they end up doing an angle, then it was an angle. And
that's what Meltzer does though. He speaks out of both sides of his mouth, so either way he can say he was right.
So, who was the guy in question? Was it? Are you saying L.A. Knight?
He's not mentioning it. He's saying I don't want to say his name because I'm only getting his name from one person, but multiple people are telling me that the situation happened.
But there's no name in question.
Right.
All right, because I got the impression that it was L.A. Knight, but
I got the
I didn't.
impression that it's completely a work, and Drew McIntyre is really good at doing those type of angles, and that's why they're doing it with him.
Well, because he gets pissed off when they had nothing for him, so he just
Like,
starts making
he's
up
just really
shit.
good at committing. Like he's really good at committing on social media and shit like that. Like he's really good at it. So yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean,
Ne-
I like I said, I thought it was pretty decent. I probably couldn't tell you anything else that happened. Because I was,
in the next Wrestling Observer, Dave's report will be Drew McIntyre is going to be heading to AEW, but if he doesn't,
yeah,
it's because he isn't.
I can see that.
but I thought AJ hurt himself again. Like I was like, Jesus Christ, again. Like when he was laying there, but I know they had him lay out just because it was CM Punk and
He actually
John Cena, Roman Reigns.
his appearance actually did surprise me because from everything, I mean, and that was again, if you're talking to a wrestler, you're probably getting worked. But when he had that injury, he pretty much had tweeted, "I'm toast." It's pretty much what he tweeted. So it must have wound up not being as bad as they initially prognosticated or something. But
Well, the only guy that I was mainly concerned about was poor Chad Gable. Like that guy went out there, he let all them guys do all that shit to him, and as he was laying there selling, and other guys were doing spots around him, they were landing on him, like, but not on purpose. Like like when their bodies would flop, they would like their legs would like land on him and stuff. And I'm like, this poor guy, like he's out there trying to like get everybody else over, yet he's getting crushed. And I like what you said, Aaron, about the brown strongman too.
I was
Like,
like, oh, he fucked that up. He dropped Finn Balor.
so
Because he audibly was like, fuck.
so you think that I was probably right then? Like he was probably supposed to catch him and then realize that he caught him and then just been like, fuck it, throw him to the side kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
he did
he
that
just
or put him through the table or something. Well, he wouldn't have put him
yeah
through the table because Logan Paul had to do his spot.
yeah,
So
but
I don't know. He's going to do something with him.
he just dropped him like he was a hot potato.
And he's completely missed that guy because he audibly was like, fuck. Sorry.
He did say something.
No, I
but
enjoyed it. I thought the tag match was a letdown. It was all right, but it wasn't what it needed to. It wasn't as good as it could have been. But other than that, I thought the show was really good.
They didn't even either have the tag match. Didn't even have no reason to be there. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything redeemable about having a tag match. That tag match there at all. It didn't further a story. They didn't tease anything more with Gargantuan and Shamasha, whatever. I don't know their names. Just DIY guys, right? Are they talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like Shelly and Sabian.
Well, after the Royal Rumble talk there, we are going to go back in time. December 24th.
An ECW Royal Rumble.
Yeah. December 24th, 1996 is the episode of ECW we are discussing this week on Reliving the Extreme. And it's finally the last episode of ECW
There's
for
no
1996. 1996 finally coming to a close.
No, it can't be because this episode was 12/24. So technically, there's still another week left.
The one that we have to watch.
there's one more week in 96.
Now you got me questioning myself. I'm getting on the Peacock app right now to see if
No,
there's
there's
another
not one there.
No,
There's not. I'm telling you.
Because they didn't want to get the rights to that pitiful little drummer boy B-roll music. Is that why? They couldn't Public Enemy in Times Square again. It's still my favorite.
Yeah, our next episode is January 2nd, 1997. So maybe they changed nights or something. So it wound up being, instead of 7 days out, it was 8 days out. Or they may have been preempted for the New Year's.
Preempted on a pay station? Did they pay to be on? How bad your show got to be?
Because that station is instead playing Dick Clark's. Oh no, that would be New Year's Eve, not New Year's Day. Anyway,
24 hours of It's a Wonderful Life.
Or that stupid infomercial where you put that little paste in your little bath water and it makes everything clean.
Mr. Popeil doing it.
Sure, whatever it was. But how do you get preempted from a channel that you pay to be on?
That is kind of funny.
they got problems there. Unless the check was made out to the HH Group, whatever it was from HH Corporation or whatever.
Yeah, it was supposed to air on Tuesday night, but the check bounced, so they had to send another check, so it aired on Wednesday night. All right, we'll put you on tonight. This check cleared.
Huge ratings.
The stuff from this show is recorded. Well, some of it recorded at Holiday Hell, and some of it is in Middletown, I believe. That's where the Battle Royal deal is. But we open with little Guido in the ring, going on a rant about how he has final say in the FBI, not JT Smith. He bitches about JT.
The only one around.
He bitches about JT Smith losing to Too Cold Scorpio. And he introduces his new Paisan, which is Kid Cash, once again, with the ever so creative name of Davey Paisano. So that's creative.
I hope we're watching the same show because my show opened up with Taz, the Taz Challenge.
You missed a lot.
Oh, what? Is this a cock problem?
Did you? So, but the show you watched had the Battle Royal deal, right?
No, I got Taz.
Uh-oh.
Was there a Battle Royal on the show at all that you watched?
No.
And you didn't watch the right show.
12/24/96. Like, I mean, does it have like Dreamer against Taz or something? What?
No.
Does it have? It's got to. Does it have Sabu and Van Dam against Dreamer and Sandman?
No.
How can this not be the same show? I have the date written right here. 12/24.
You might have got a year ahead of yourself.
There's no chance we're in. I mean, no.
Oh, we're not in 97. You are.
No, I'm not.
We're not.
Okay, well, go ahead. Maybe I'll catch up somehow.
Because the opening match on the show that we watched from December the 24th, 1996, is Little Guido and Davey Paisano versus the Dudley Boys, which is Bubba and Spike.
Well, they weren't even on the show I watched. I got no Dudley Boys on my show. Well, anyway, if you want to do a show ahead of a show for next week, we have an Al Snow promo.
Oh my God, you're not in.
You're definitely in '97. You're in '97.
You're a year ahead. You watched a year ahead. Because Al Snow's not going to be in for like another year.
Well, he looks good in '97. I mean, if that's any indication of what '97 has to come, I mean, seriously, I can't wait for Al Snow to get here in your world. Where do you see this Al Snow guy?
We will describe the show.
It wasn't even the right date. You watched December 27th, 1997.
Not according to my handwriting. It says 12/24/96.
No, that's not what you watched. You watched 12/27/97.
Okay. I watched a lot more than that.
We'll keep those notes
because
from a year
the
from
exact
now.
description of the show is Taz defends his TV title against Tommy Dreamer, and Rob Van Dam and Sabu make their presence felt. So you hold on to that. You should hold on to that, and then take new notes after when we actually watch that show and see if the notes compare.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I'm running out of pages in this book anyway. I'm on the backside of other pages that I've already wrote notes on. So I got to get a new book. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong page anyway.
I feel like I need to get one of the.
Telling you what date. We keep telling you what date to watch. You're like, yeah, I watched the 12/27 Thunder.
That's right. Above average Mike Sanders is in it.
I feel like we need to get one of the. I need to get one of those keyboards like Brian Last uses when him and Jim Cornette do the. We're traveling back in time, forward in time thing when they're doing the show reviews.
Oh, I'm in the future.
Well, we will describe this for you, Chad, and I'm sure maybe as we go through it, some of this will come back to you. I'm sure you've seen it before.
You'll be like an interactive listener.
Am I paying to be on this episode? Is this a Patreon requested show by me?
But like I said, we start out with Little Guidi.
I can just do these.
Little Guidi. That's probably actually a rapper.
Little Guidi.
It is now.
I think he was at the Royal Rumble.
I think I ate it. I think I've tried his rap snacks before. Little Guidi. And his fire roasted barbecue honey nut chips.
It's fire crusted porchos, or what do they call puchos? You gotta have a bag of puchos.
They're big. They're round. They taste like grease.
Smell like shoes. Velcro shoes.
You think that's feta cheese in that bag, but it ain't.
It's Valpuccio shoes?
It's Gucci scrapings.
Oh, Puccios.
But yes, Little Guido and Davey Paisano, who I said is Kid Cash, against the Dudley Boys, Bubba and Spike. Aaron, any notes on the match in particular?
It's flipped up, but from what I saw of it, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Like I said, I like sometimes when it's not like when you get just kind of like the random ECW stuff. You know, it's not always just Taz or it's not like Brian Lee and Tommy Dreamer or Shane Douglas and the Sandman. I like when it's like just some guys out there doing their thing. And honestly, I don't think they're gonna. I don't know if they tag anymore or whatever, but Little Guido and Kid Cash, I actually liked them together. I thought they did good in this match at least, and I enjoyed it from what we saw of it.
I thought Rob Van Dam and Sabu looked great. Oh no, never mind. Fast forward to 97.
But yeah,
the ending was. The ending was obviously the Dudley Boys are going to go over on this one, and Bubba climbs to the top, has Spike on his shoulders. Spike jumps off of Bubba's shoulders from pretty high elevated area and splashes Davey Paisano and gets the 1, 2, 3, and the Dudleys are victorious. It was a good little match. I believe it was from December 7th, so it was an old match considered, but it's like a month old. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
So I would have saw this match then.
I didn't realize until he showed up here a few weeks ago or whatever, and then they've been featuring him doing his crazy spots and stuff, but they never really gave like an introduction to the Spike Dudley character. He just kind of started appearing and getting thrown into people and stuff by Bubba. Like there was never any like introduction to the character. But I do think that finally, as we've gone on here over the past few months, some of our more wacky Dudleys like DW and those types of Dudleys are gone now. Finally, no more car chase, Chad. Sorry, those days are over.
Well, maybe next year's year-end video there'll be a recap of Bubba chasing all the Dudleys around. Fuck, I missed that.
Really? I think you got to be inching closer to him and Devon getting together and everything. So yeah, the Dudleys are starting to take their ultimate form here.
Yeah, this is where they start to like I guess we just said it, pretty much get out of the comedy stuff because they're really starting to start to create that tag team division, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we've started seeing the Samoan pajama jams, and we still have the gangsters who we haven't seen like that much of, and Public Enemy we haven't seen that much of. So it seems like this will be a perfect time to start to like, I guess, basically reinvent the tag team division, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other thing that's great, and I've said it before, I love Bubba and Devon as a tag team, but I do think I'm gonna miss, because I'll be honest, wild, crazy, zany, early Dudleys is some fun fucking television, man. It's good shit. So I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the zany Dudleys as they've been trying to figure out what the fuck this Dudley thing even is for the past year. It's been fun to watch, the crazy characters and the crazy shit that they did and have done. And the first introduction of Bubba, when he's like really fat and stuttering and
I know what you're saying, but that wouldn't have sustained. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the whole stuttering thing would have got old really quick with that crowd, I think, and it wouldn't have the legs that it had.
And you're right, they already started turning on him.
Yeah, but it also would have been great for that like nostalgia in ECW's world of a nostalgia callback when it was needed. Like if they were put in the right situation, all that stuff could have been redone for a one more time nostalgia thing. Mm-hmm. Even if you had to even go back and get popcorn selling guy Dudley, if it called for it kind of thing. But I think the crowd would have went banana if the Dudleys were doing a promo against another team and Bubba just so happened to start stuttering and be like, "I'm gonna fuck you up," at the end of it, kind of thing. But yeah, I understand what you mean. It's time for the Dudleys to just get serious and start to excel in their dominance.
I'm pretty sure Bubba just gets rid of the stuttering thing, if I remember right. But
he does.
I think it would. Yeah. I think it would have been better if he would have like been stuttering and then just got the shit like hit out of him by like Axel with like the chair, and then all of a sudden that cured him of his stuttering. Like that would have been like boom, and it's like, oh, I don't stutter anymore. Thank you.
What I've always thought is also just to I mean, I know getting in the weeds or whatever, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, because by what? So we're gonna say the stutter's gone by not too much longer, right? Let's say the stutter's gone by barely legal. Okay,
it is. It pretty much is.
So my theory is that somebody, when JR or Bruce Pritchard or whoever it was pitching the Dudleys coming to the WWF in '99, the videotape that they gave Vince was old because he probably saw Bubba stuttering. Because if you notice, when they first come into the WWF in '99, Vince has
Vince Russo.
Yeah, that too. Vince they put the stuttering gimmick back on Bubba when they come into the WWF for a minute, not very long, but for the first maybe month or so.
It was probably Vince Russo. I don't think Vince McMahon having anything to do with the Dudleys when they first come in. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
he wasn't writing anything about them. It was probably Vince Russo.
well, I mean, Bubba says that basically when they came in, that Vince just liked the gimmick. He didn't have any idea what it was, but he just liked the look of and the aesthetics of the gimmick. And then they were gonna like find something in creative to like make their own, you know what I mean, their own version of it.
Right.
That's the way Bubba describes it. Like they already had the look and everything because Bubba says that he loved the glasses, he loved the tie dye and the overalls and all that shit, and he also likes ACDC. So they had all that going for him, but they didn't use any of it. Basically, great gimmick, guys, but I love it to death. But we're not going to use none of it.
So the next thing we have after the tag match, Joey Styles is in the ring. We're in Middletown, Ohio, or Middletown, Pennsylvania, not
That's where
Ohio.
you live.
Middletown, Pennsylvania, and Taz comes out, kind of an inaudible promo, a little bit, but for the gist I got of it was he was going to be in this King of the Hill Battle Royal tonight, but now he's not, or something to that effect.
He didn't like the fact that he got seated or ranked wrong in the battle royal, which I don't like. He was like, I should have been ranked number one in the battle royal. Well, that means you would have had to come in number one, dummy, because it's basically a Royal Rumble. But he was just mad because he didn't think he was getting acknowledged high enough in the rankings of this King of the Hill battle royal, and that's why he wasn't going to compete. He was dressed like a half viscera, like he was wearing a like leather hat, a leather jacket, leather gloves.
Is that a
I
Jewish
did like
term?
the
You call him a Nitzera?
viscera,
Oh, Viscera. Okay. I was like, what the hell is a Nitzera?
but I did like the fact that this is the first time that the WWE Peacock music did something good because it took out Bill Alfonso's whistle, so you didn't have to hear that. But yeah, it's like the audio wasn't the best, but that was the gist. Was he didn't think he thought he was too big to be in the battle royal, basically. And challenged Sabu to come out anyway, and then Sabu comes out, and the Eliminators attack him. Taz leaves, and the battle royal starts. They call it a battle royal, but it's basically a Royal Rumble because they come out in intervals or whatever.
The gist of this one is, they come out like Royal Rumble style, every
With no countdown,
minute
though,
or
right?
so.
Is
No, and the other thing about this is this King of the Hill thing is it's like Royal Rumble style, but you can get eliminated by going over the top to the floor or by pinfall.
Okay, I remember
And people are allowed to enter as a team.
Okay,
like the Eliminators entered as a group. So, but I mean, I can run down the list if you guys want me to. Who's in this thing in the order that they came out? It's up to you guys, though.
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
fine by me.
All right. First entrant, Sabu, then the Eliminators, then the Gangsters, then RVD. Then we get the debut, at least as far as I know, of on TV of Balls Mahoney. He debuts. Then we get Spike Dudley, then Little Guido, then Bubba Ray Dudley, then Chris Candido, then Brian Lee, then Shane Douglas, then Tommy Dreamer, Devon Dudley, the Sandman, Louis Spicoli, and the final entrants are the BWO. So basically the main just of their roster or whatever is.
One thing I'm actually very sad now that Chad didn't watch this episode because one thing that I have written down here is Rob Van Dam's outfit. He's got like weird pants, like he's wearing pants. Like it's really
Well, they're all dressed in street clothes other than Chris Candido.
But I know, but his pants are wild. Like they look like I don't know, like brick. Like I think he's wearing like brick style pants or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, wait till you get my show review for next week's show then. And I see these pants. Then I'll be up to speed a week behind.
Say if you recap the next episode on your feed, you're going to be in 1998.
The shit. I got to see these pants.
Keynotes from it. The Eliminators eliminated the Gangstas, so that feud's continuing.
Okay.
Like I said, it was the debut that I I can't remember seeing him before this. Of Balls Mahoney.
No, he has not been. He has, well, at least television. He hasn't been on TV.
Yeah. Nate,
And
I
he's
know
not.
you watched it.
Sorry,
Oh,
he's
go ahead.
not even. He's not even. This is gonna sound funny. He's not even fully formed balls yet, though. The balls, like he's
Yeah,
still
he's
just.
still shaved. He's
Yeah, he's
shaved
still.
balls right now.
Yeah, he still looks like Santa Claus, essentially.
Yeah.
But
Right?
This balls is manscaped.
He's still Boo Bradley, Boo Balsley.
Boo balls. Boo balls. Zanta balls.
Go
Man,
ahead,
his
Aaron.
full
I didn't
name.
mean. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just.
No, that's all right. I like boo balls. I don't like boo balls. You know what I mean. Don't isolate that. I like the fact. Nate, I know you watched it, so I don't know if you noticed it or if you were whatever. But when Bubba went through the table, I thought that was a really good camera angle of it. Like they shot it from the apron going down, so like when he hit the fucking table, it like exploded and all the chairs went out. So it looked fucking chaotic. Um,
so that was either one of two things. It was either a great mistake or Bubba told the cameraman ahead of time or the producer ahead of time that this is the spot that we're going to do. This is what we, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
but it
because
looked it
back
looked
because
really
back
it looked
because back then stuff like that in ECW, unless it was a major spot that was leading to something like big, like an angle, not just a spot, but it was not going to be that well produced. You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah. And Joey did mention that at one point the Eliminators were in there with Brian Lee and Chris Candido, and they had both been attached to Douglas is about possibly being the new triple threat. So they haven't really. I know we saw Brian Lee and Shane and Candido together the other week, but they really haven't, television wise, pulled the trigger on actually calling them the triple threat yet. Um, Douglas is in the ring, then Tommy Dreamer comes out, and Douglas eliminates himself to get away from Tommy Dreamer. Then the BWO come out, and Joey mentions that Brian Lee's also in Raven's flock or nest, whatever you want to call it, but he ends up eliminating all the BWO, so it looks like he's out of that now. And after Lee eliminates the BWO, Sabu knocks Brian Lee out of the ring, and Sabu is the winner of the King of the Hill Battle Royal and the big man from 1996. That's basically how the match ends. So Sabu won 96. It was a marathon, but he got there.
Well, good for Sabu. It sounds like all his previous past troubles, whatever from his promotional stuff, is gone by the wayside now, and they can just move on with them, right?
So, something I did note during this battle royal that stuck out to me. We've talked many times on the show about what how it could have been different for Louis Spicolli had he not fallen into the trappings of his life that he fell into. And I don't know about you guys, but when he first shows up, what was that? Was it like a year ago? It wasn't even a year ago, was it? Maybe
Nah,
like 9 months ago or something.
I was going to say 9 months ago.
Okay, when he first showed up, he looked good. He looked really good. And now fast forward to this thing, progressively, he looks worse and worse and worse. Like you can just tell. I can progressively watch him look. I hate to say it. I hate to besmirch the guy. He's dead, but he looks fucking sloppy. Like when he first came in, he looked really good. He looked really good. He looked good in the ring. He looked good from a physical standpoint. And now he looks sloppy. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Good
Spending
in the
that time
ring.
in ECW locker room.
He's still good in the ring though.
Yeah. I was talking just physically. He just looks so much different than when we saw him just 9 months ago show up.
Well, we've commented on the previous shows not about his actual like physical look, but his work. He's only in the last few shows, like he's been playing the hits.
Mm-hmm.
When he's been lazy, laying out, like waiting for angles or anybody to come out or anything like that, he's been playing the hits. So we've already seen the digression of his actual physical in-ring work. But now you're starting to say that. Now we're starting to see the progression of his physical look.
And as in the reverse, the next thing they show is a recap video of 1996, and as you would guess, it's just as long as a Santana guitar solo because it's 96.
It's the last 10 years of 1996.
But 1996 is the longest goddamn decade.
The decade of that was 1996.
But the funny thing is, Louis Spicoli started 96 in shape, and now he's fat and sloppy. And Cronus started 96 fat and sloppy. And now he looks really good at the end of 96. So it's like they stole each other's souls or something.
Yeah, sometimes I mean, especially when it comes to a company like ECW, like those video packages, they can really tell a lot about your last year. And considering that we're watching these programs each week as opposed to, like really like each week as they laid out, we're seeing them like faster than everybody else did. So yeah, we're starting to see a lot of people. I guess fall by the wayside. In some cases, not every case.
Mm-hmm. So the next thing we have is Joel Gertner, Hype Central. He brings in Shane Douglas. Shane's talking about Tommy Dreamer, and I don't have anything else on it. Like this was kind of like it was almost like it kind of repeated the same promo from last week, just in a different order of words.
We just basically said that Tommy's selfish. And almost put he almost kind of said what we say about the guy, like he's put upon Tommy, like he puts himself in situation like he's like, you're not really Gary Wolf's friend, you're just using Gary Wolf's injury to get at my television title, like you're trying to use that as an excuse to come after me, you don't really care about him, you're just pretending, is basically what he said. Like he basically called Tommy a shitty person.
Right.
So basically, you're a shitty person.
He's being a heel, which behind every bit of a heel there is a bit of truth.
Yeah.
he's telling the truth, and Tommy Dreamer's not selling it. Okay, that makes sense to me.
I actually like the promo. So,
well, it's Shane, the best. This is the best Shane stuff we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
After the promo, then Joey Styles talks about how Terry Funk pinned Brian Lee in the tag match that recently took place, and Brian Lee has challenged Terry Funk to a match next week.
But didn't he say Terry Funk's in Mexico? So we're not going to know for a minute. I think he said he was in Mexico.
Did he? I didn't. If he did, I didn't write it down. I'm not. You're probably right. He probably did say. It's funny. Where's Terry Funk? He's in Mexico.
Like, you just assuming? He was it the Observer? Did you hear from Bix?
In the Observer, it says Terry Funk is in Mexico. But if it turns out he's not in Mexico, then he wasn't there.
He's not in Mexico.
Yeah. He's smoking dope with Mil Mascaris, but maybe not.
Well, where would Terry Funk be at theoretically this time anyway? And was he? This is what we're in 96 in your world, so he could have easily been what, WCW maybe?
Nope.
No.
No.
Not on Raw or anything.
No, because
he hasn't been on any TVs.
He has not the big two. He's been. I actually don't know what he was doing for most of '96, to be honest with you, because he isn't on WCW or WWF TV in '96 at all.
Could have FMW probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably doing Japan.
Yeah, but that was '95. I mean, he could have been in Japan doing dates, but he had maybe started putting together his show, because that's what is that in April? That show that he ran in, whatever, What's the big show that he did where he retired, whatever? The one
where he wrestled Brett. Was that in '97 though?
It was in '97.
Okay,
Because
well
that would have
we're in.
been after. That
That's
would have
what I'm
been after
saying.
the yeah. And wasn't he at the wasn't he in the Alamo Dome Royal Rumble? Because he had that fight with Steve Austin at that on that Shotgun Saturday Night in that Texas bar or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of know where Terry Funk's at. He's just kind of milling around. What we're saying.
And he did that big retirement show, and he's like, "No, no, I said that was the last time I was going to wrestle in Amarillo." Like, all right,
In this bingo hall in Amarillo. All right.
Oh, Terry.
Okay, so
and
basically Terry Funk was doing Terry Funk things
yeah,
because he hasn't been
he's
on
hanging out.
ECW,
He
even
was
though they
hanging out
still
with.
bring his name up.
He was hanging out with Dennis Stamp. He was watching Dennis Stamp jump on his those kid
Trampoline.
matches with his baby weights and his banana hammock.
With his Tommy Dreamer cell phone, waiting for the call.
I'm just looking at Cage Match, because if you go to cagematch.com, it literally will show you somebody's matches from a year if you search their name. And then anyway, see 96 FMW in August of 96 he wrestled Otto Wands in the
Oh,
Catch
good
Cup.
night.
FMW, ECW, more Otto Wands shit. So he did some shit in Germany or whatever. And
And
then
maybe Joey did say Germany and
but yeah, mostly FMW.
he did say Germany because I was like, oh, that's a crazy place for Terry Funk. So yeah, it was Germany. Sorry, I misspoke.
All right. So I mean,
'Cause I was just thinking of Terry.
Otto
I was just
Wands,
thinking of
you schnitzel sucking dog.
so pretty much we can just say that Terry Funk was kind of like just traveling and kind of on vacation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, working for Otto Vons, whatever. Seriously, you know what I mean? He's not going to be killing himself over there in Austria. So yeah, he probably took Dory and Marty on a vacation. You know, I give him, I can see that happening.
like,
How about
Take
the
off.
okay, Otto, I was with your mama, and this crowd ain't the only thing sour here.
What do they suck in Austria if they don't suck eggs?
Schnitzel.
Auto suck schnitzel shirts are coming out. I'm getting my made
Otto
tomorrow
eats
now.
schnitzel the long way.
So yeah, all right. So yeah, Aaron, it is Germany because 12/21/1996 CWA Intercontinental Title. So Euro Catch Festival in Bremen, Deutschland. Fit Finley defeats Terry Funk.
Good.
He's doing jobs. All right. So he's getting work and he's doing jobs. So I mean, he's making money then because he ain't doing jobs on his regular pay.
It's
So all
funny
right.
because he's like, all right, it's funny. He's working, man. He December 21st, 96, he's in Germany facing Fit Finley. January 11th is when he's going to have this match with Brian Lee at the ECW house party. And then January 19th, he's in the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. So Terry's being Terry, baby.
And I bet you he's loving every minute of it
Can't
because
wait to tell Vince my horse is sick.
because you know damn well that in between all them days he's definitely getting a vacation in, right? Because he's not working every single night.
Right.
Maybe in Austria for Otto von Schnitzel, he's doing maybe 3 nights maybe in a row, something like that. But yeah, so for the most part, he's kind of taking it easy. All right, he's getting there in age. I can see that happening.
Then let's see here. We see the BWO in Times Square.
I remember this.
The only the note of it is the fact that they kicked that Hispanic Santa in the face.
Hispanic Claus.
And Hispanic Claus, yeah. And they Santino Claus, I don't know what you'd call him. But they kick him in the face, and then like Stevie's like, "Oh, it's because you didn't give me that truck I wanted in 1965 or whatever the fuck he says." I don't know.
Dang, how old Stevie?
It's stupid, but anyway, it is what it is, and yeah.
Well, wait till you see Stevie in '97. He's in pretty good shape. That was one of my notes when we get there.
Like by the time the show that you've watched, Chad, by the time we get to that show, Stevie's been to WCW and gone from WCW.
He's been there and back.
Oh, no wonder he's in good shape.
And then the end of this show, Joey Styles comes with breaking news and tells us that the Eliminators have just won the ECW Tag Team Championship from the Gangstas, and we'll get some more on that next week.
But where was this at?
I couldn't.
It was at that same show of the Battle Royal.
Yeah, the Middletown.
It was at that Orange County Fair Coliseum thing or whatever. Yeah.
But if Joey was there, and part of the show was there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said they were filming the match they said we filmed this match for a upcoming video cassette, and then they were like, "Oh shit, they won, so we need to talk about it."
Okay, that's cool. I mean, that makes it sound like it's that Joey is there and it's happening. You're watching it as it's happening. Okay, that makes sense.
I also like the spontaneity of something like that too, where I always thought it was a nice touch to get people to house shows when every once in a while WWF or WCW would change a title on a house show. It didn't happen often, but when it did happen, it's just another incentive for people to go to house shows, you know. Oh, the title can change hands at a house show.
Yeah, but it never happened enough. That's
the most WWF, if you guys remember, the most WWF ever did it was when they noticed house show business was plummeting in like 92. They changed the tag titles from DiBiase and IRS to the Natural Disasters to DiBiase and IRS to the Steiner Brothers. Like they did quite a few tag team title changes in late 92 because they noticed that house show business was down. So as a way to try to boost it, nobody gave a shit and it didn't help. But
apparently they also noticed that nobody gave a shit about the tag team titles. Because I remember one of the last title changes that I got to see is when I moved back home, when I was visiting Tennessee, where I'm at now, and I went back home. I got to Maryland on the date that Santana beat Valentine in Baltimore for the IC title. Like one of my things for going home was my parents got me tickets for the wrestler that night.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I'm like, dude, another title change in Baltimore. You know, that was kind of, you know, it was like one of them. You know, before I even noticed if they had cameras there or not, I didn't know if they had cameras there or not. But I was just like, damn, a title change in Baltimore. That's cool. But yeah, they don't do it enough. But they really can't do it anyway because it's gonna get stooged off if it's not live.
You definitely can't. You definitely can't do it now. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not going to have the impact that it would have had without the internet and, like you said, with the spoilers. Because I thought if
you remember when Mean Gene was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WWF champion, Bret the Hitman Hart," and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I was just about to say
that. You know, he's going to bring out Ric Flair or whatever, and it was Bret.
One of my memories as a kid was that one of my, you know, that getting up on Saturday morning and watching Superstars and Gene Okerlund says the new World Wrestling Federation champion. And
he didn't even say new. He didn't even say new. That was what was made it great. He said, "Welcome the WWF heavyweight champion," and Bret's music hit, and you're like, "Fucking A!" Like he didn't spoil it and say new. Like they wanted that. Like, holy shit, it's Bret.
So where was that title change at? Poughkeepsie or
Saskatoon?
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
All right, that's what I figured.
And then I remember as a kid, them saying that he won the title in Saskatoon, and as a kid going, "That's a cool ass name for a city."
That's
and
what
Bobby
I call
just ripped on it. I remember that.
Females.
But that is going to be that for this week's episode of Reliving the Extreme. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Our next episode, we're going to, I guess, since we're at the end of 96, heading into 97, Chad heading into 98, we are going to
roll over the goddamn place.
When do you guys see Barely Legal, man?
Next week, Chad's going to be like, "That just incredible, I'll tell you."
Hey, he was on the show. No, I watched.
Man, I just watched this shit on Sci-Fi. It was fantastic.
They had a zombie and the
Dude,
big
on the
Show.
show that I
Zombie?
watched, on the one that I did a review for, just incredible about crippled Mikey. So yeah,
Ezekiel Jackson? Can you believe it?
Jackie,
Vladimir Kozlov?
Durag Vince.
Durag Vince.
it's awesome. It's unbelievable. The Pope, they're all on there. Where do you guys see this Kevin Thorne character? He's gonna get a big push. That's what I keep hearing anyway. And what's the deal with Droz?
But for all of that, next week we're going to pause our show reviews and discuss the We Can't Wrestle podcast Hall of Fame class of 2024 that we all voted on back in December. And we will refresh everybody's memory as to who got in this year and who got in previous years. We'll go through all of that and discuss.
Please tell me I voted already, right?
Yes, you did. You did
God.
vote. I have your ballot right here. It's in front of my face.
Because as much as I love doing them shows, they're a lot of work, dude. I mean, for me, a little bit of work is a lot of work, but to go back and look at all the people that are already in and to formulate people that I think are deserving of being in the Hall of Fame is a lot of work for me. Super Intelligent Destroyer.
We will see everybody next week on Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week. And, hey, take it easy, folks.